All right, so we got Crimson Slaughter versus Space Wolves.
Again.
The
Rematch.
Rematch. If you saw the previous video, it was a horrible loss for the Crimson Slaughter. Actually, it wasn't that bad of a loss, but it was very... Yeah, I had to table him, which was kind of a difficult rule. So we're doing the Storm of Spirits. This is the Spirit Storm here. And it's got 6 objectives. They're not numbered, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 objectives at the end of the game. They're worth 3 points each. It is night fighting. This thing moves around during the game and does damage, but it can't hurt those Land Raiders.
Or the Rhino.
Or the Rhino. And it has First Blood and Linebreaker and Warlord. And then I'll just go over my side and then we'll cover yours, which is a small list for 2,000 points. I've got Havocs here with Las Cannons, a Hell Cult. These Chaos Space Marines here are in this Rhino. This Land Raider has a bunch of Crimson Slaughter Possessed and my Lord. And I'm hoping they don't turn into beasts again and get dumped out of the Land Raider on round 1. This is an empty Rhino. It's owned by those cultists. This is a squad of... It's a murder pack of Hellbrutes, my Mauler Fiend, Warp Talons. I didn't get to deep strike them because I have to deploy everything. I got bikes here. And then on your side you have 2 Devastator packs. Not packs.
Long Fangs.
Long Fangs.
With Rune Priest.
Rune Priests.
Rune Priest there. 10 Grey Hunters and a Rhino.
In a Rhino.
Melta close combat weapons. 10 Grey Hunters and an Iron Priest and a Redeemer with a multi-Melta that snapped off, of course. And then Arjac Shield Brothers. It's Arjac, 6 Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators, and the High King of Fenris himself, who has deigned us with an appearance.
And that's it. And so, and he is your Warlord, obviously, and a Lord of War. So we're gonna see if you steal.
Haha! Take this, Will.
Yep, he stole last time.
So
he would have if he had whatever his name was, Bjorn. All right, so my movement's done. Pretty much everything's coming up. These guys, as in my last game, they turned into beasts on round 1, so they immediately have to disembark from the Land Raider. And there isn't a rule for this, so we just determined that they could move their 12 inches instead of disembark 6 because there is no rule for beasts disembarking from a vehicle when they weren't allowed to be in it. Did we identify any mysterious objectives? No. And so...
well, actually, we have to identify this.
Oh, you have to identify that one. And the only reason we're doing mysterious objectives is because Mac has a special power that lets him re-roll it.
Which I don't have active now, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah. It's a bomb.
It's a bomb.
That is a bomb. The Spectre Hurricane moves there, and that's it for movement. I have no psychers, and so we're going to go on to shooting. And so it is, it's dark outside, and nothing happens. Everyone ran who could run, everyone shot at that Rhino who could shoot at it, and outside of running and shooting, absolutely nothing happened, because I did pin the Land Raider, but it's dark. And so it is on to Space Wolves round 1. So movement, you immobilize yourself. That's fine. That thing twitched, and everyone else just kind of hangs out. And we're on to psychics, where apparently there are 5 psychic dice for me because I don't believe in psychers. I do, but apparently my army doesn't have any. 1, they're prescient, and yeah, I failed to deny. He rolled 6 dice on 1 power.
Okay.
So in the shooting phase, he glances this guy. It's part of the squadron. I have to.
More 1 dice. See if we can pick unimmobilize.
All right. Does he unimmobilize himself?
5 or better.
No. So he's still immobilized. All right. So at the end, there's no assault, and you got. And so, at the start of my turn, I got to do my craze, and since I pick it, I'm going to go for rage and fleet, as long as they're within range.
Warp dust?
Warp dust. They're sniffing their warp dust back here. These guys all move. This guy moves 12 inches. This is here with the Chaos Lord in it. The murder squad is here. Possessed are now shrouded. Mauler Fiend, Warp Talons, and Bikes have moved up. Turns out this is a bomb. And that's nothing of note, basically. And this was a grav wave generator. And so... yeah, we're on to shooting because we have no psychers. Yeah, an amazing. So, in an amazing shooting phase, this guy, my lone Night Lord who apparently joined the Crimson Slaughter, on a Snapfire hits the Land Raider, pens it, rolls a 6, and blows it up, and then kills 5 of the guys inside. And we need to find out if they're running off the table.
Okay, 2 dice, 8 or less.
You mean 8 or more? 9 or
Actually,
more.
hold on. They have an Iron Priest there, so
It doesn't matter. You just rolled
you
it.
got a 6.
She rolled a 6 and a 2. So it's an
she's
8.
good.
She's
Okay.
good. All right, they don't run, and they're not pinned.
Well, they would have had Saga of Majesty from him in here anyways.
No.
Because they're within 12, so they would have re-rolled it.
You can re-roll it then.
No, I'll keep the 8. You know, well.
All right, and we killed one lone, not lone wolf, whatever your devastators are called.
Longfangs.
Longfangs, with combi bolter, and we're on to the assault phase. So here's what happens in the assaults.
Nothing over here.
Nothing at all over here. The Mauler Fiend charged the Longfangs, and the las cannon Snapfire killed him and blew him up, and then killed 2 of the Warp Talons, which was enough to make me make a morale check at the end of the phase. But the phase wasn't over, so I finished their charge into the unit, as did the bikes. We won the combat, but they still have to make a morale check because they lost like more than 25% in the explosion. So we won the challenge. The unit becomes shrouded due to a effect of that gift of chaos, and then they run. So the librarian is locked in combat with a bunch of bikes who've now consolidated in, and one of them's going to take a dangerous train test for driving through the building, and it's fine. And these guys are running, and we'll have to try to. Oh heck, they're within range. They're going to get hit by an explosion. Survive the explosion of the exploding objective, and now we're on to round 2, Space Wolves. Yeah,
Boys from Fenris are
some crazy stuff just happened.
Time to force.
Retcon, because we read the rules. If you lose 25% in the assault phase, you don't make a morale check, so those Warp Talents are actually still fighting against that librarian. And now we're on to max movement, round 2, which is going to be guys assaulting the murder squad. So movement, those Longfangs are coming after the biker Warp Talon fest. Termes jumped out of the Land Raider, which didn't immobilize itself, and those guys moved like 4 inches. And we're on to
Shooting. Oh,
shoot
psychic.
psychics.
7
7 charges. Nothing happens in the psychic phase. There were lots of 6s. And now we're on to shooting. So in the shooting, this guy was immobilized and lost a hull point. That's the extent of it. He was hit by like a multi-melta and saved, thanks to a Terminator, and then Arjak hit him with the hammer. And those guys tried to run, but they only moved an inch. It's sad. And so we're on to the assault phase. These guys are locked in combat, and this time, after my challenge, I considered an unworthy offering to kill yet another Longfang Ancient. And in this combat, terrible things happen. This guy gets immobilized and loses an arm, and 2 Hellbrutes blow up. Well, wreck, and then 1 blows up. And we didn't kill any Termies.
Yeah, and this guy's in the challenge with him. Yeah,
He's in the challenge. And, so now we're on to round 3.
Whew, that was a long round.
All right, so the Spectral Hurricane actually turns out to have killed a Termi, and that's it. And now we're on to shooting. So in the movement phase,
String these guys.
I can only control 1 objective with per squad. So
You can't string between objectives anymore?
you can, but you can still only control 1. So they're hanging out there. These guys come up here. The Rhino with the Chaos Space Marines in it is here. Possessed are 3 up invul with rending, so they've come this direction. Those guys are locked in combat. And, my Chaos Lord. I guess I should do something with him. Alright, forgot about that. Land Raider moves to here, turning. And guy jumps out, joins the Possessed at the end of the movement phase. And we're on to shooting. So in the shooting phase, did anything happen at all? No, other than that.
It's like shot here,
Yeah.
and shot at the Land Raider. We get nothing.
Shut the Land Raider a whole bunch and nothing happened. Alright, so then we're on to assaults, where they charge and don't roll a 1. So a 4-inch charge, they only needed a 1-inch charge. No, that's it.
Yeah, I can't.
So combat. Madness occurs here with Possessed just going crazy, just hacking Terminators to pieces. And my Possessed champion issued a challenge to Logan Grimnar, inflicting a single wound. And then Logan Grimnar and the rest of those guys just beat the Hellbrutes to pieces. And then that challenge, the Warp Talons actually died. I lost the Warp Talons, and everyone else is just good, hanging out. And so we're on to round 3 for you.
Yep.
Movement. Moves, disembarked, drove through terrain and didn't immobilize, walked towards the bomb. Everyone else is locked in combat. So it goes. Shooting. Psychics. All happens in psychics. No, not when he has only 3 dice for prescience, and then onto whatever that other thing is. Shooting. Yeah, in the shooting phase, other than movement, nothing happens. And so, yeah, this got hit with a multi-melta, or didn't get hit. And now we're onto the assaults. All right, so in the combat, I won the challenge, killing the librarian. Yeah, sorry, no objective there. I won that challenge, and I would have gotten multiple rewards, but I died in the challenge. Did this thing explode?
I don't know, did it? You roll it, sir. I'm putting my dead guys away.
2. And there's nothing else that can't hurt you. So, yeah, and in this, only one left is Logan, because the Possessed just slaughtered with their rending attacks, which I'd be lucky to keep. And the Chaos Lord killed Arjak in the challenge.
He got an improvement to his ballistic skill. Huzzah!
He did. And now we're on to round 4. The Chaos Storm killed 2 Space Marines, accomplishing not much else. Yeah. And now we're on to movement. That was that for movement. Those guys move there. These guys just hang out exactly where they are. Doesn't even move. Drives through the ruins and doesn't immobilize itself. Those guys are locked in combat. And we're on to shooting. Shot down the Land Raider almost. Half of his wounds are gone.
Did you mention the storm killing that?
Oh, the storm? Yeah, it killed 2 dudes. Yeah, we pretty much glanced the Land Raider twice. And that was that. So on to assaults, where we remain in an assault. I don't know why you're going to, but in that thing, nothing happens. Here, Logan's got 1 wound left, but in a challenge that I, of course, have to issue because I'm Chaos. I instantly die when his guy cuts through the Chaos Lord, who's wearing nothing in terms of armor for Logan. And does that thing explode?
Yes, go for it.
No. And so we're on to your round 4. I didn't cover this, but Logan's a load of war, so having lost 3 wounds, I get a victory point.
Yes.
Or so we think, because we don't have
The rules,
whatever that is.
We fudged it. And that's okay.
Escalation here with us, yes, or whatever that book is called.
That's it for movement.
All right, so movement, it goes to there, so it's not shooting through a squad anymore. Those guys are over there, and the Iron Priest leaves, and so now we're on to shooting, because there's no psychers left. Ritter got stunned in the shooting phase thanks to the assault cannon, not the multi-melta.
Which hasn't been able to hit poop for 2 turns.
Yeah, nothing, and that guy ran, and we're on to the assaults. All right, so the Possessed, hurrah! They kill Logan Grimnar in a glorious way. I mean, he killed one of them, and then they just ripped him to pieces. So we're on to round 5, which could be the end of the game. And so Slave to the Voices says, that's extremely cocked. Slave to the Voices says, I have a 3-up invul and I'm rending.
Whatever.
All right, so in the movement, the Possessed, who are troops in my list, move to there. The Rhino does not immobilize itself. That exploding thing has to move 7 inches. So we'll just put it under there. Did that blow up last turn?
No, it did not.
Did not. Okay. My Rhino backs away from the objective, and the cultists run towards it. Smartly. This thing's stunned, so it can do pretty much nothing. And so now we're on to the shooting phase. Cultists fail to run in the shooting phase. This thing backs up to the objective. This thing drives, but it can't quite hold the objective. I forgot to roll what the exploding hurricane does, and
We'll do that in a second.
we'll do that in a second. And the las cannons all over that thing did nothing. Okay, the murderous hurricane there just kills 2 dudes and nothing else happens. So now we're on to the assaults, where these Possessed are going to try to take out a Land Raider. Possessed accomplish nothing. Well, they scratched the paint quite badly with their rending, but that's about it. And so we're on to your round 5, where the score is still currently 3-1.
Yes. And
And I'm holding a lot of objectives, so we'll see what happens.
Things don't look.
I gave Mac advice to move his tech priest towards the objective. We'll see how that pans
You'll
out.
still outpoint me though, because you hold 3 and I'll hold 3 and whatever.
Yeah, okay. So movement. Movement pivots, doesn't immobilize. They are standing on top of the exploding objective. There's one long fang left. Those guys are moving. That thing's sitting there. They're going to possibly charge me through terrain.
Shoot you.
He's going to shoot me. I love this plan. All right, and so we're on to the shooting phase because there are no psychers here anymore.
Here we go. Lots of shots at those guys.
So in the shooting phase, everything practically on this table shot these guys. And there's 2 still standing. The game, they're troops because I got Crimson Slaughter. He melted my Rhino, blew it up. Those guys might be pinned. Are they? No. They didn't take any wounds. And so that's it. The game did not end, and so we're going to see what happens on round 6. So I should have mentioned that. Now on to my movement, where these guys have 4s, so they are beasts. They're just going to walk way the heck over here into this terrain.
Yep.
And these guys are there. They didn't take any wounds from explosions, and we're on to the rest of it. All right, it's not looking good for the Space Wolves because of the number of guys I have holding objectives. And this thing's no longer stunned, so it moves to here. The Hellbrute's there. Hellbrute could break this, the sad part, in the close combat. These guys are hanging out here. These guys turn into beasts. The cultists are going to go after that priest, and we're on to shooting. Oh, well, that thing. That thing could move 10 inches, and I'm just going to slide it right here and
do everything.
All right, so the 2 guys,
Lose.
I guess that's what it is.
Something.
The Vortex of Death kills a single lone guy, and now we're on to the actual shooting. So in the shooting phase, these Chaos Space Marines blew that up with the Melta. We do nothing here once again. As a matter of fact, this guy's multi-Melta has failed completely all game. These guys did nothing to that priest, and we're on to the assault phase where... Do you have a flamer?
No.
All right, I charge you.
Your graph wave generator is going to slow you down. So, yeah, I don't think you...
Actually, I control that, though.
Are you within...
Within-
Yeah, you're within 3. You
Yep.
control, so yeah, they make it.
They make a 3-inch charge?
By Overwatch?
Am I within 3 inches? Summing this up, my Chaos Champion cultist challenged the Tech Priest and was crushed with the servo harness, or with the claw arm, and that's it. Nothing else. And these cultists are fearless because they're part of the Hell Cult, and we only lost 1 guy anyways. So movement is done. They got to make a 6-inch charge if they choose to.
Oh, and they're going to choose to.
Move so he's within 3 inches of the objective. That guy's locked in combat. Those guys didn't roll well enough to get shots at anyone, and so we are on to the shooting phase. Okay, so here we go is what happens. These Chaos Cultists just slaughtered that Tech Priest. These guys get locked in combat where my champion with the Lightning Claw kills 2 guys. He kills 1 Chaos Space Marine. They just stand there, and does that objective blow up? No. Does the one that we're standing next to blow up?
No.
No. And yeah, and that was that because he killed the possessed in the shooting phase, and made that charge there. And so we rolled. The game continues. This will be the last turn. And so
your guys stay there. Your guys stay there. You shoot. You shoot.
we stole this stuff. I don't know why the pilot to the Land Raider's head sticks out, because that clearly would not be protected with Armor 14. But
Drive them closer so I can hit them with my sword.
yes. So Land Raider drives up here, parking on top of the objective. Hellbrute walks to there so he can finally make a challenge and charge. Occultist goes for Linebreaker, and we're on to shooting, where I'm going to try to kill that with a multi-melta and hit. Yeah, nothing happens in the shooting phase at all. We've had a lot of multi-meltas in this game, and we've done nothing with them. Rolling ones to hit, or in the case of hitting, not even penning it at like a 4-inch range. And so now we're on to the assault phase. This Hellbrute can accomplish nothing.
Send him to the scrapyard, Will.
Oh, wait a minute. So like I said, the Hellbrute can do nothing. I remembered he had an extra attack, and it didn't matter. He shook that thing, so it's shaken. Not even stunned.
So it's snap firing everything.
Yeah, it's snap firing everything, and my Chaos Space Marines, as they usually do, they die in close combat because they're not as that good there, cast Space Marines. And so we're down to the last turn of the whole game. All right.
One multi-melta shot is all that matters.
Yep.
Because he can't get close enough to help.
I didn't even roll the Murderous Hurricane last round. One multi-melta. Missed again.
Assault cannon. Only one hit.
One hit.
Nothing.
Does
That's
nothing.
it.
The game is over. And so as the final score, I guess we can test this, right? Because we're
Yes.
sitting on top of it. So
3,
6,
7 total.
7 total, and then I will have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12, yep.
Well, I have 3 right now, 4, and then plus 9, so
13.
yeah. Yep, so it is a Crimson Slaughter victory. Much needed.